Hey there, Vanessa. I'm waiting on Shanarda Spencer and hopefully I have one other person. Vanessa. Oh, Vanessa Green, is that you? um, uh, Vanessa Brandoff. I have to get used to these conversions of YouTube versus Facebook names. How you doing today, love? So one of our clients today happens to be a first timer to YouTube Live, so I'm trying to do my best to tell her how to get on and see us right now. I'm a newbie to the YouTube Live. And then I'm also going to go ahead and check and see if anyone else has submitted a photo because I want to make sure that I cover you all. And then there's one other that I'm going to do. She doesn't know I'm going to do this even if she doesn't show up today. And even if we just have a few with us on this live, we're going to go ahead and get it recorded because I know we'll have some need for this tutorial to be out there because as soon as you all purchase the template, I like for you to have a resource where you can really dig into the template, get going, and not be discouraged. Y'all let me know if, Shnarda, you here, love? Okay, cool. So that means I can close out my Facebook, which is eating up a lot of data right now. I just want to make sure no one else dropped a photo. I don't want to leave anyone out. Okay, so I have Alicia's here too. Now this is one I did a while ago. But I know I saw her. I think his sunset date was not too long ago because they just did a celebration. So I'm going to surprise her if she's not here already watching. I'm going to surprise her as well. Bring her little one into our template. And then I was thinking something else I may want to do with this one is to put the poem, and I have it somewhere, but I'm just going to find it all over again. It's a poem. And I thought this one was very fitting because I wanted to do an image that had a staircase that looked really peaceful, because when I see the little babies, it does give me just a different feeling about doing the remembrance shirts, and I'm sure as it will for you as well. So let's see. This one talked about the stairway, and then there's another one. I'll have that one. So this one. Not that one. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join in. And I'm going to see if I can creatively make this poem be a part of the design without taking away from the design. So it'll be an optional kind of section on here. And maybe it could even be a design more for the back. So I'll keep the full poem. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and edit the text box here. We'll keep the full poem so that you can put it on the back. But I'm going to do a version that just pretty much like runs on like it's part of the background. And in order to do that, I need to bring it all the way to the front so I can see what I'm working with. And these are things that you can do too to sort of add some element of text design. And what I'm doing right now, I'm just taking away any space between anything here because it has punctuation in there, so it should still read well. It'll be more of like a coded message. Okay, so I have my text box here. This is the full poem. Let's see. The chain. There we go. The chain will link again. That's the last part. Oh, I haven't been seeing y'all's messages. I guess it timed out. Hopefully you're still there. Oh yeah, I did sleep. I actually slept in. That's why I didn't get up until later this morning or almost afternoon, but 11 o'clock. So sometimes I get, um, this is just a little story for me. I don't know if it works the same for you all, but whenever I'm doing remembrance stuff, the absolute best time to do it is really late at night for me or very, very early in the morning. And I think that's when our bodies and spirits are most like spiritually inclined too, because I get a absolute peace and quiet, and I feel like I can have the direct connection that I need for the experience that I'm trying to provide to someone who lost someone they really, really love. So yeah, it's hard for me to do my remembrance designs when it's like middle of the day. I hear people talking, phones going off, emails going off, Facebook's going off. So I do my best to give it, like just devote time to it. And that's something I learned from my dad too. Whenever there's something that you really want to um, put your heart into, you give it that type of time and energy. When you're studying for a test, you want like complete quiet, right? And you want to give that assignment your quality attention. So I do the same thing for this type of stuff. All right, so I'm going to figure out how wide I want this to be. I'm thinking I'll keep it within my safe printing area, maybe a little bit outside of it. And then what I'm doing is I am pulling on well, you have to, in this mode, you have to double click on the text box in order to edit the text box like I'm editing it right now. But once I get this set, you shouldn't have to do any of this. I'm just showing you how to do this for the future if you want to do this for yourself. I'm going to let the text probably drop to right about here. So as I have it selected, I am going to click on the big T, little t, big T right here. And I'm just moving my cursor to the right until it fills that space. Okay, and then of course this text is going to go, like I said, this is the full poem. I'll leave that in there. That'll just be a bonus if you want to use that. That's the full poem that goes in the traditional vertical sense, and then this one is kind of like just a run-on of it. So we'll grab this one and drag it below our beautiful subject there. And then I'm even going to change the opacity so that it barely looks like it's there. Now we can even change the text here if we want to. If I wanted to have my same script text, of course, then I would have to make sure that I'll take it off of all caps there. I have to make sure that my text size is going to be appropriate now. So now I have a little more room with that font. There we go. And like I said, it's not supposed to be something that really stands out. It's like if you had a letter that that maybe mom wanted to write to the baby, then maybe you would take her handwriting and basically use it lightly in the background there, something that makes sense as a keepsake. And I know we're doing this as a t-shirt representation, but you all, this could be a pillow, this could be, let's say if you were going to make a book, a photo book, a photo album, this will be perfect to sublimate some fabric to make one of those cushy photo albums that maybe the cover or the outside of it would be nice and soft and have this fabric, and then the inside of it can have photos. So I want you all to be creative. These are templates, but this isn't the only use for the template. This might be the most common use for them, but I definitely want you all to take it a step further. So we have that on there. I think that looks cool. You can always take it off if you don't like it. But let's see. Shenarda, am I saying your name right, love? Oh, Chrissy Poo. If your blues are printing out purple, let me show you a trick. When you're choosing colors, for instance, I have a filter on here right now, and it's just making this light blue. And what I'm doing is when I choose my color, which right now I'm choosing the master color here, right? The first thing that I do is when I select a blue that I think I like, I immediately move it away from purple. So that might look blue, but in sublimation terms, sometimes it's hard for it to detect the blue to the purple. So I just bring it over to the green just a little bit. It may not look as blue as you may think it looks, but when it prints, to me, it's easier to just discern that it's blue for the printer. And then the other thing that I'll do, just make sure if you're selecting a color, let's say for instance, you selected this blue here. You're like, yeah, that's pretty blue. If you look here for your cyan and magenta, it has a lot of magenta in it. Just for kicks and giggles, go ahead and take that down to 75. And you notice how that blue drastically changes. It doesn't look as vibrant as it did before, but it doesn't have nearly as much magenta in it. That was my tip to, depending on what inks you use, I had some inks that, especially when I use color profiles, that my blues would come out purple every single time. So this is a trick that I learned. Turn down your magenta. It may look a little duller on screen, but it will print better for you. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right, Shenarda. So do you have any input on this as far as the colors, the words that we put on here? I put until we meet again just because I wanted to do something a little bit different. But this text is completely editable. You can put in loving memory. As a matter of fact, let's play with that. Y'all can give me some input here. So until we meet again really does go with the theme, the poem that's in the background. But we can put another expression. I just duplicated that layer. We can definitely do in loving memory. That's an option there. Let me give you another option. Another option that we use frequently is your wings. And this might be very appropriate for mom. We're ready. And usually I put our hearts were not somewhere, so I'm going to copy that. And then just double click there in our hearts. Or maybe she wants it special just for her. So instead of saying our hearts, maybe she wants it to say my heart was not. And like I said, this is always something that you can edit at any point in time. And then if you don't want this one to be curved, double click it and take the curve off. Just put none there. And then we can move it up a little bit to that. So that's what I want you all to understand about the templates here. They're suggestions. It's pretty much plug it in so you get confident, but once you're confident, go ahead and make these changes, show off for your clients, because it really does help them to see how much quality you can put into something that they really care about, and they will forever be grateful to you, but also think of you for any occasion in the future, and definitely refer folks to you. She is a gorgeous little angel. I'm telling you this. I was supposed to work on it this morning, but I started last night because the photo itself does something to me, but she just pure sweetness sitting there. And the thing is, I saw a post where you were asking for help for this design. So I don't know how you came across the group, but I'm so happy that that you contacted me, and I hope that you're in the Innate Creatives group, because this will be a very good experience for you to get to have this type of help and contact with a lot of these projects that we do. So basically we'll have quite a few options in here. Your wings were ready, my heart was not, and right now it's just in gold, and we can change the colors. How do you like the colors on this design? I will show you that you have an option down here to change it to, let's say we wanted it all pink. There you go. What I'll do when I bring our next little one over, I'm going to change the colors. So I didn't know if you like the pink with the blue, or what. You let me know. All right, awesome. I love it when we get it right right on the first try. Okay, so this is great. I'm going to go ahead and save this one. And like I said, for the dates, I don't make the dates pop out as much as I like for the name or the message to pop out. So I'm going to leave this as is. It has opacity of 63% on there, but it's just a suggestion of the date there. Some people make it really bold, just like the name, but that's just not my style. But you're welcome to change the size and the styles of that. So we're going to go ahead and make sure I save that. And then I'm going to show you the switch up. So the switch up will show you, I already showed you how to change out the text. I'll just call this layer text now. That's all of our text. And then we do have these doves we can put above the text. And then that way maybe I could incorporate the doves to where, and then let me put the doves below the date. That way the date still shows through. And you'll be able to take off any of these elements. Let's say you don't like the doves, then just click on the eyeball and they're gone, at least from the design. But for another design, you may want them. So I try to give y'all some options on this. Of course, we have the halo here. Make sure it looks good and in place. And then the part of the halo, if you don't already have this done, I'm going to delete this. No, I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to show you what you would do if you had brought a new photo in. Because we will have 2 more photos I think we're bringing in. Alright, so for right now, if I want to take a look at the design, I'll take my guidelines off. I stopped the text here because I don't want to print all this into the sleeves and lose that. But there we go there. And next, we'll go ahead and edit our next photo. So I already brought it in. Let's make sure. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And here's another tip. If you are printing like a pillow or anything like that, you can turn off this layer and get an idea what that would look like. It would look gorgeous as a pillow. Gorgeous as, like I said, a piece of fabric that you would cover the photo album with. She would love that. Mom would love that. Because I'm sure she, has to pull together photos right now, and this will be an opportunity to give her something to build on. A project, sometimes projects keep our mind busy when our hearts won't be still. So I think that gives you an idea of, hey, I can use this for pretty much anything at this point. Maybe even a blanket or something like that. So don't get caught up in just because you see a t-shirt shape and thinking this is only for a t-shirt. All right, so let's go ahead and do our switch up here. Matter of fact, when I export it without the guidelines. And I do this so I can remember what it looked like when I told you it was done. A lot of times I go through these videos and I'm showing you how to edit, and then I have to remember what I showed you was the final product. So save that. That will remind me. Okay. So let's do our next one. And this one will be for my love, Alicia. I don't know if she's here today. Let's see here. Where'd I put my photo? A photo with wings. I try to keep all the photos in here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, now this one I already changed the orientation of the wings because this little cutie, he's laying down. So I can go ahead and turn off the wings here. In this template, you have options for the wings. I just chose the one that I liked best. But if you like those, let's say you like those wings best, you can absolutely use whatever wings you like. So this one, the wings lying down, and I'm going to go ahead and just merge that group. There we go. And then I have the halo here. I'm going to make a copy of the halo because I'm going to get ready to turn it sideways, and I want to keep my original one in place because he's laying down. Oh, he's so precious. I'm telling y'all, these things, oh, they make my heart heavy and light at the same time. Like it's light because it makes you understand how fragile the life really is, but how beautiful the experience of no pain and no negative energy whatsoever, and that peace. And when I see these babies like this, it reminds me of the true peace that that heaven really is. So that's why it touches me in a light way as well. Okay, so now we're going to get to, we showed you how to change the text here. And now what we'll do is change out the colors. So for this one, let's say we wanted to do some orange in here. Right now I have the light blue selected, and it just lightens up the blue here, changes the hue just a little bit. I could roll with that, duplicate that layer, and then instead of calling this light blue, whatever I change it to, I'm just changing my master color there. And I can change the lightness. So I can get a teal out of that. Oh, maybe teal and this orange will be really pretty together. Let's just see what we come up with. So this is a saturation. This is how pure or dull a color is, like basically how close to gray or how close to a pure saturated color it is. And I think I'm going to go with some form of teal here, just to let you know it doesn't always have to be a blue sky. Let me colorize that too. I colorized it just now so that when I shift my colors, I can shift them in a pure way so I can really see what color I'm selecting. There I go. I was looking for my green teal, kind of aqua. Ooh, that's so beautiful. I think it's going to work well with orange. Okay, so per usual, I'll show you. I'm going to turn off the foreground clouds and the middle ground clouds because I have foreground and middle ground clouds. And this is so that I like for you to make your images really pop and have different levels to them. So let me turn off the foreground, and then there's a middle ground somewhere. Maybe I deleted it for this one. Okay, so I guess I just kept it simple with the foreground. So the foreground clouds allow you to have a little bit different color in the front. If you don't want to, you could just keep that back layer on and it's a full ready to go layer. But you know, I have to be a little different and difficult. And I'm going to turn on my foreground colors, and then I have these gradients here. So let's say for instance, I wanted to do, instead of messing with that gradient, I'm going to do a new gradient. I'll still keep that blue one on there. I'll show you what the blue looks like. So the blue has its purpose too. And then you may want to just make a few color variations here. So this one, let's say I'm going to choose a lighter version of the teal, a darker version of the teal, lighter version of the teal, darker version of the teal, and say okay. And as you can see now, I kind of get a little more intense color there. I can even change this gradient up to where I have mostly dark, just a little hint of light. And then I can also play with the blend modes here. So right now it's in color, but I can change it to, let's say, darker color. Let's say I wanted it to fade from like a darker to a lighter. There you go. I want you all to not just take my templates like for the literal sense that it is what it is, but play with these blend modes. You'll start to find out that you can get pretty creative in this thing. And so I had it on color, but just for the sake of doing something different, multiply is a little dark. Let's go with color burn. That's different. Okay, so I just wanted you to see that. Now for the color burn, what I may do for my gradient here is actually, let's pull that orange in there. See how that looks. I'm going to get a little bit of the darker orange. And I'll still keep the teal intact just to see what happens there. And this time, instead of linear, let's play with angle there. And one thing that I will do if I want my color to look continuous is start it with the same color. I'm thinking I'll just go from the orange. Get a little bit deeper there. If it's not getting the color that you want, create the color you want. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and keep it back onto linear. And our scale right now is going all the way from the bottom to the top of the image, so we can reduce that scale if we want to see a little bit more of it. And then I'm going to change the blend mode now. And now I like linear burn. So that's just a little suggestion there. And I still have all of my other setups. So basically I'll still be able to, and I'll change this from light blue, let's call that teal or aqua. Teal. I think it's more teal. And then we have the light blue. So it even looks good with the light blue. And of course, you can always change it to pink. When I put the lighter color, it changes how this pink applied to it. So yeah, you got several options here to play with. I'm going to do that as an option there. And then this one, I'll change the words on. So we'll go to our text. And instead of saying your wings were ready, my heart was not, I'll do until we meet again. And then my little one, I don't have his name. So what I'll do on this case is I'll ask her and put the name here. I'll duplicate it. And then this is what I usually do to make me remember to get the name. And one final thing I do is go ahead and turn back on my guides, make sure I'm going to get everything that I need up in there. And for this one, let me bring down the size of the image just a little bit. So I do want you to see we got that beautiful little stairways back there with the cloud. And I'm going to take this halo. This is a copy of the halo. And we'll turn it, Control T. And right now it has a layer mask on it. We'll go ahead and delete that layer mask. And well, that worked out perfect because the photo is already, I think, on top of the halo. But normally the halo's on top of the photo. Such as that, and then you have this issue where the halo is seen on top, and all you do is add a layer mask. Grab your paintbrush. You want to make sure that you have black selected because black is going to conceal and white will reveal. I'm going to hold down Control. I should have had this thing on for y'all. I keep forgetting. Control Alt, and then if I right click, then it will help me change the size, moving left to right. There we go. And I'm just going to paint away just a little bit where his hat comes through. So that's his little halo. All right, so the last thing for me to do, play with the blend modes. We change text. Change color of this text. So where it says first name, let's click on that one. First name. Let's double click on the effects and let's change the color there. So right now I have a gradient overlay from pink to pink. Let's do from the teal to the orange. There we go. And now we did the color change. A lot of these things can be changed out extremely quickly. So I want you all to get get used to doing that. And let's see what else. We have that version, so I'm going to save that one. And then I think we have one more to do today. If y'all want to hang in there with me, we'll get that one done. And of course, that's not going to be his dates. So I'll have to get his dates too. But I think Alicia, she knows how to edit these templates. So once she gets it, she'll be able to edit that in there. Let's see. one more tonight. Vanessa, and I think Vanessa's here with us. Vanessa, my condolences for losing your baby girl. And we'll go ahead. We'll bring her image in. I want to see what we're going to be able to do for the images, because here's the thing. When we're doing the wings and stuff, let me go ahead and collapse this one here. Nope. Okay, so when we're doing the wings and that sort of thing, if we have images that are cropped off, and I'm going to show you in just a moment how we're going to play with that. We'll select the existing photo, and then that way when you drag your new photo in, it'll go right on top of that area and you won't lose it. You won't know like where it went in your layers. So I have two photos here. I like the one where she's winking. Let me know what you think, Vanessa. Because the winking, I don't know. I think we'll be able to pull it off. And then we'll bring the other photo in too. Maybe we do this one as the main photo and do the winking one somewhere like in the background. You know, I'm all for switching it up and making something work like on the spot. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to decide what my foreground image is going to be. So I'll do the winking in the background because it'll look like she's winking from the clouds for you. I think you'll like that, Vanessa. All right, so let's go to cleaning up the image so that we can put our wings on there. So we'll go ahead and take off the visibility of the last image and that halo copy. And let's do, all right, so here's the deal. Here's the dilemma. When we figure out what wings we want, and I'll probably do the wings that have the front and back, and the reason why is because it helps us. I'm going to go ahead and drag these below the front wings, because if we don't have the sides of the shoulders and that sort of thing, these wings are very, very helpful. And they're linked, the front and back of the wing. So if I turn off the front, you'll see the backs there. It's two different layers. And this kind of helps us when we have missing stuff on the sides there, kind of helps us blend it in and make it look more believable in terms of the wing placement. So the other thing is I have part of her hair cut off, and we dealt with this last week too. This is not an uncommon thing. We're all taking selfies and stuff, so of course we don't get all of the elements of like around our face and head. So we have an opportunity here for a lesson. And I hope y'all are ready for it. What I'll do is I'll double click on this image so that I'm editing the smart object version of it, and then I'll end up bringing it back in. So first thing I want to do, let me go to the, let me change the canvas size. So right now it's 13 by 7. I'm going to make it 13 by 13. Just so I have some extra space there. And as a matter of fact, I'm even going to make it taller. That way I just have some space to play around with. I'll double click on my background layer there. Let me go back. Double click on my background layer first so that when I do change my canvas size, image canvas size, what did I say I was going to do? 13 by 19 basically. Then I have that transparent out there. All right, so I'll create a new layer and I'm going to start coloring on the new layer. So let's do a paintbrush here. I'm going to Alt click, and what it turned into was a color picker, and it picked that color of her hair right there in that section. Reduce the size of my brush there, and I'm just going to paint in the background here. And no, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to give us something to work with. I'm not painting on my picture, guys. I'm painting on a whole new layer. And then the other thing is, if I want to recreate some of this hair here, I'm going to go ahead and grab this hair. Control C, Control V. I need to be on the picture to copy it. All right, so I copied some of her hair there. And we'll do a layer mask on the hair and just kind of fade it off a little bit. New layer mask, and of course white reveals, black is going to conceal, so I'm coming in with my black part of my brush and just fading off those edges there. This is just going to give me something to play with. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to fade off the top up there. I'll just end up cleaning that off. And basically, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, if the top of her hair was here, how much hair would I need to make this believable that the top of the photo wasn't cut off, right? So now I'm going to go in with my pen tool and I'm going to pretend like this is the top of the hair. And I'm just making some little arbitrary kind of shape here. And we're going to have some wings that come up in here and help us out too. So let's go ahead and make that a selection. We'll let it feather 2 pixels for the radius. And I'm just going to go back in with my black paintbrush. And now I have a structured edge. Not on the, don't paint on the picture like I just did. Paint on the mask. Alright, so let's go ahead and add a layer mask to this back here. Layer mask. We're going to do a reveal all mask for that, because if you have something selected, it will quite naturally do a that one right there where it shows your selection. So I want to do layer mask, a reveal all mask, and I'm just going to take that off. And I don't think I need this part taken off because the wings may go there, but just in case, if I want to, I can go ahead and add to that selection and cut that out. I'm not being very precise at all because I know that's where my wings are, so I'm cheating a little bit, but we're gonna get it to work out. Let's make that a selection. It'll feather 2 pixels. I'm on my layer mask, not on my photo, so when I paint away, it's going to paint away only where I have that selection. Okay, so now I feel a little bit better about this. I'm going to go in here to where my hair is, and I might go grab a few pixels from here because I do see a little texture there. And I'll copy and paste from there. Uh-oh. I forgot that I had that other selection. And then I was on my add selection there, if you see that. If you want to do a new selection each time, you would select this one. And if you want to add to your selection, which is extremely helpful, let's say I pick this little piece and I'm like, dang, I wanted to go over a little bit more. Well, I'm on the add selection. So I can quite literally add to that selection. Alright, so I am on the photo. I'm going to copy and paste. And as you can see, it pasted a little piece of that hair over here for me. And all I'm going to do is create a layer mask on that one, a fresh layer mask, and just kind of fade that off a little bit. Alright, so it gave me something to work with. I'm positive that unless I merge all of this, this is not going to be the same file, so let's do it. Well, if you think you may have to come back and do something else, and don't merge it. I'm going to merge it because I want this to be as small of a file as possible. Did I just do all that work and tell it no, don't save? That was my bad, guys. I was really supposed to save that. What did I do? Yep. So, yeah, that was definitely my bad. Normally, if I had saved it, I've never had that happen before. Oh well. So, yeah, basically, I messed up. I have to do that all over again. And because I did it in a new window and I didn't save it, it doesn't even recognize that it was ever a project in the first place. So fun stuff, right? All right, so here we go. Let's do it again. Image, canvas size, 13 by 19. Give your girl a little practice today, I guess. All right, so I'm going to take the hair here, Control C, Control V, and then now that I know I'm going to use some of the hair here, I can go ahead and copy and paste that as well. Control C, Control V. All right, let's go ahead and play with our hair here. We'll add a layer mask. And I'll grab my paintbrush here so that I can paint black onto the layer mask. We'll get rid of anything that's not hair there. So that we can easily blend that in. There we go. I'll blend that out a little bit more. All right, same thing with the black here. Control T, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And we'll add a layer mask on that one. Now this is stuff I don't do this all the time, but I do it when it matters to me. Like if I'm trying to put a halo on top of something, I don't put a halo on top of a picture that's cut off. That's a no-no to me. So I find a way to make the top of the head complete so that I can, wrong tool. I was using my old school tool. I used to use that lasso and I'd be click, 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 click. Don't do that, y'all. Or if you do, let me show you. If you're a click, click, clicker, I'm going to click, 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 okay? Shoot. And I'm going to show you why it's not safe to click, click, click. See how that just messed up on me? So now I have to deselect. But yeah, so I'm going to create some little jagged edges, acting like I'm following the shape of the hair here. And then I'm going to show you if you're a click, click, clicker and you're not quite on the... You see how hard it is? You can't make curves with this. I don't care what you tell me that is. That's not a curve. But some of you, this is what you're comfortable with for right now. And I'm okay with that. So I'm going to select that selection. And then I'm going to come over here and add to the selection. I'm still going to use the click, click, click method. So let's say I want it to look like this hair is kind of in this direction. Alright, so see I just added to that selection, right? I could go to select and mask, and I'm going to tell it to smooth out my selection, because if I don't, I'm going to see all of those little sharp edges. And then I can feather it a little bit. Let's feather it 2 pixels. Oh, let's go ahead and go 3. And then I can say okay. And now when I go to paint away at my selection, you see how it doesn't have those little crisp jagged edges that I had? It smoothed them out and made them more round. That's what you have to do if you're going to use that tool. And you're going to have to not paint on your image and paint on the mask. Let's go ahead and do a layer mask, reveal all for this one, and then that way I can clean up that area there. So now, I'm going to keep this together because I'm going to end up pulling this straight off into here, seeing what is going to show. And see how now it looks like she has the top of her hair? So if I put a halo on there, it just won't look extremely odd. Uh-oh. That's what I was going for. And I didn't complete all of her hair because I figured a lot of the hair can be or might be hidden by the wings. And now I feel a little more confident popping the image up a little bit and not necessarily having to hide her entire face behind the wings. All right, so I can go ahead and get rid of the original photo. That was the original photo, right? Yep, because you know I don't do those square lines. And now I'm going to go into the group and figure out, take the top wings off just so I can clean up this background image again. And I'll show you the click, click, click method since that's what we started with. But I prefer you use the pen tool so you can really get curves. This way you're relying on the system to make curves where you are making mountain peaks, like sharp mountain peaks. And it's not going to be your best bet. But if this is how you're learning and this seems easier to you, I'll give you that for right now. But just know and understand that that's not how I want you to continually operate. We grab our paintbrush here and not paint on the picture, but paint on the mask. You see how easy it is to paint on the photo and not the mask, especially when you're not working on a smart object. And let's do a new layer underneath here. I'm going to take the black from our hair and just go ahead. I have to have deselect on. I'm going to go ahead and make some black right there. Paint away at the mask right there, those edges. And then I'm going to Alt, click and drag that area there. And it basically just gave me a whole nother setup of hair. So when I tell y'all I find a way, I don't know if this is boring the mess out of y'all, but I finds me a way to create some hair where the top of my photo is cut off. And then I'm going back to the layer mask here, and we're going to clean that up. And then of course, the area that I have back here in the back, let's go ahead and clean that up onto the layer mask. And if I wanted to, I could get real precise about where this ends, but I think I'm going to have the wings come up there. So, with all that done, we'll go ahead and add our top wings back, and then we'll adjust them. And see what I was saying? So when you have no sides to your pictures, when your pictures have no edges, then we find a way to make them work. So I'm making them bigger because I want them to be more in proportion. And that works out almost perfect where her hair was. Cool, cool, it works. Y'all let me know if you're still here because I keep getting this error on my end and I don't know what's going on. So I don't know if it's cutting off on y'all. All right, so for this one, I'm seeing she likes pink, it looks like hot pink. Vanessa, you still there, love? I see some people here, but for some reason it's not showing me the chat anymore. So I apologize if I'm not responding to your chat because I don't see it. But I'm going to go with, usually when I do it like this, I'm right anyway. Because I look at the photos and I try to get a little glimpse of personality from the pictures. I see she likes these kind of hot pinks, magentas. So I'm going to go with that for her color. So for the foreground clouds, I'm going to duplicate this orange. And this time I'm going to make it this hot, hot pink. Oh, the pink and orange looks good too. Oh. Okay, yes, I'm liking that. And let me know what you think. If you think there's another color that's more fitting, let me know. Let me know. And then what I'll do is let me see how this looks with the blue in the background. So we have a heavier blue, we have the lighter blue. I kind of like more of the navy blue with that pink. And then she has the denim on in the background. I think that's going to work. So we can leave this blend mode here. And I inadvertently changed that, but I like what I changed it to. And then let me go back and change this light blue. Light blue is definitely going to be lighter, a little more saturation, but towards blue hue. There we go. So I changed my light blue back. All right, so I like this kind of navy. And it's not really navy. What would I call this? Yeah, we'll leave it alone. All right, so I like that color combination. The last name is going to have the pink from the clouds in it. So let's go to name copy here. And I have the name, I believe. So I just copied that. Let me see. Would it be on? Oh no, I don't have the name, Vanessa. You gave me the dates, but I don't have the name. And because I can't see the chat anymore, let me see if I leave and come back. Oh, now I can see. If I left and come back, now I can see the comments there. Okay, so Vanessa, purple. Purple's her favorite color. So let's do purple. I'm gonna duplicate because I like my pink, so I'm gonna leave my pink on there. And as you can see, that color just multiplied on top of the other color. So I'm gonna turn off the previous color and we'll make this one purple. So let's just choose a purple. I don't have a purple in the image to choose from, but doesn't mean we can't make a purple. So I don't know if it's more like a magenta purple or I call it blurple, like a blue purple. But we'll pick, let's go purple there, and then let's go into a more, I'll just duplicate that previous purple, delete that pink, and then let me go pick me a lighter, kind of a little bit more pastel pink so that we have a little contrast there. And let me know what you think about that. Any purple? Shamara green, Shamara? Yeah. And then maybe we'll lighten it up towards the top. So let's see. Let's just see. We have our modes in place. And now if I like that gradient, I can double click it and I can save it as a gradient in my arsenal. So if I hit new there, it's going to save that purple to purple gradient. And then that way, when I go to the name and I want to change the effects, the gradient will be a part of my library. So I'll save that as a gradient. There we go. And now I can, and this is my tip for y'all. Anytime I do these videos, I tell y'all the truth. I do not type people's names in. Shammara. And the reason why is because I don't want to misspell something, especially on something so important as this. So what I typically do is copy and paste. I tell them text it to me. If I felt comfortable with this YouTube video right now, I'll copy and paste that from the comments of the YouTube right now. But I don't want to risk crashing, so that is the only reason why I'm typing this name in. Last name, Green. Beautiful. And then I do have her dates. Now I will copy and paste the dates because I saved this earlier from the Innate Creatives group. So this will be a secondary date there. We'll go ahead and put that in. Control V. I just copied and pasted it. And then I just put spaces in between there. Oh, I put spaces in between the month and the day. And I don't know, let's do this one. I think it should have been 10/28. And I can put the slashes in. I just can't save the slashes in my file name, so that's why I put dashes instead. But if you like the slashes, you can go back and put the slashes instead of the dashes. And then you can also spell out the dates too. And I just brought it down a little bit so it doesn't cover up her beautiful name there. And then I can move my dove. And of course change my color for the background image. Right now I have it on that navy. So let's duplicate that navy. And we'll turn that one off. Now this one, let's say we want to go with more of a purple. Purple's there. And I can go like darker to lighter, or I can go lighter to darker. You tell me. You like it light at the top or dark at the top? And more saturation just makes the color more pure. Less saturation makes it look a little bit dulled out, more or less in the background. And I keep having to log back in. Oh, the dark. Awesome, awesome. So let's go back to the darker. I think she really like this. And now let's change our purple because I see a little too much blue in that purple. I'm going to go to that gradient. And I'm going to go choose a darker. And I could even choose a purple from that background there. See how I made it match just then? Just by hovering over that space and it turned into a color picker. So what do you think, love? So far. And then I'm going to grab the second picture of her winking. Oh, I meant to tell you too, there's some flares in here. So I put those on there so you have a little bling going on. You can turn those off or you can turn them on. Or if you have an area that's distracting, let's say you have a white blown out area like right on the edge of the face, take one of those blings and move it around and put it there. It'll help out as far as the distraction from the image. So that's one of my blings there. I can take my bling and I can move it. Alright, so let's take this photo. And then we'll call this the watermark one. Because this is her winking. And what if we could put this by the moon and show her like winking near the moon. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and turn the opacity down a little bit just so I can see what it looks like, kind of blend it out. And let's add a layer mask because you know I don't do the hard edges. Now this one, because it's going to be watermarked, we're not going to focus so much on like recreating the top, the head or anything. What we're going to do is just make a bigger brush here, and I'm going to make sure that my hardness is all the way on 0, so that means it's the softest brush that it can be. And then I'll blend out, and maybe even blend out the seatbelt there. Keep a little bit of that denim jacket to show her style. And then for this image, I'm going to do an adjustment layer, and I'm going to do black and white because I want it to blend in. I should have clipped it. So right click, create a clipping mask so that it clips just to that image. And then this way, I can choose my blend mode. I want it to look like she's in the sky. So let's do screen for right now, see how that looks. And let me turn on my guide so I can tell what's really going to most likely be cut off. And I want to be aware of that. So maybe I'll put her on the, to balance the moon. Excuse me guys, let me change this. This lighten is only working where I don't have a blown out background. Sorry guys, this happens when I talk too much. So we're doing this as an all over. See, best placement. Here we go. I think over that shoulder looks good. Because I want to make sure we also see her winking. Excuse me, guys. I normally have me some water waiting for me, but I messed up. It's all the way downstairs. See how to deal with my hack until I'm done. All right, let's do, overlay. Overlay is what I'm looking for. And then I can change the opacity, bring it up just a little bit. So it's not so harsh. And what words would you like to see on here, Vanessa? And on this one, let's say, for instance, we wanted to take the poem off of this one so we can see what that looks like without the poem. You have that option too. So we have the moon on this side and her winking at you on the other side. The staircase is there. And I'm just going to show you what the difference. If you bring the photo down a little bit, you see more of the staircase. So just in case that's something that you want to see more of, I'm just giving you that option there. And plus you're making sure that if you have to print this as a 13 by 19, you're safe in that zone. All right, so I think that pretty much does it for us. It was something else. Oh, fly high, my angel. So you got my, I wasn't sure if I could see your messages anymore. So let's duplicate. So this file is going to have a lot of good expressions in it. I like it. I love having y'all's feedback. Y'all don't understand how hard it is sometimes to do this all by yourself. To come up with the ideas. And if you wanted to, you could put her face on both sleeves if you wanted to. If I were wanting to do that, I'd do Alt, click and drag, Control T to transform it, flip it horizontal, and now her beautiful face is winking at you from both sides. All right, so I'm happy. I might bring this little flare out of her beautiful face and maybe bring it up, draw a little attention there. So yeah, and then if you want to, you can alt click drag these flares and make you some extra ones. Here we go. So I'm really happy with this one. I think it works well. The colors come together beautifully. Y'all help me figure out some lovely expressions to help people with what they want on their shirts. Because I'm telling you, your customers, they don't know. They don't know what expressions they want. They're grieving. And a lot of times they just don't have the ideas put together for this right now. But I will tell you that if you put your heart and your love and energy into it, this is something that they're not only excited about, but this brightens their day. I know it seems like this is absolutely sometimes some of the darkest moments of people's lives, but you have an opportunity in this very moment to show them something that will uplift them and excite them. And I'm sure that you'll do that because you're not in this just for the money. This is really something that's not for the faint of heart. This is something that we do for the love of not just the craft, but of what the craft has the opportunity to do for people. It's a service. Okay, so I'm happy to provide the service. I thank you all for allowing me to provide this service. Let me see, I'm just checking right here with this wing. Okay, we're good. So yeah, see how it has that picture from being cut off right there? Like that's what we want. To make the most of anything that we're given, anytime. I'm so glad you love it, Vanessa. And what I'll do, you guys go ahead and make sure you set up an account on Innate Lab. And once you have that account set up, message me. If you're not already a part of the Innate Creatives group, make sure you're a part of that group. And I will go ahead and send you, it will be an invoice, but it'll say $0 for this template, and you'll have access to it, and it will forever be in your login, on your My Downloads part of your login. So guys, that's it. I see an error here. I didn't put a slash right there. And if y'all ever see any issues like that, let me know before I save these things. But I think that's it, guys. You're very, very welcome. Very welcome. It was my pleasure. And thank you all so much for being brave and allowing me um, to borrow your images for this occasion. I know it could be really tough, but I appreciate your bravery and you stepping up and really allowing us to help others with this process as well. So it's bigger than us. So thank you. All right, my beautiful loves, I'm going to let you all go for the evening. I don't know if I'll be back on live anytime today. I do have a little bit of other stuff to catch up on, but if I don't catch you today, I will probably have something for you tomorrow. All right, peace, love out here in these Corona streets. Y'all stay safe and healthy, and I will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.